My name is Wan Ho. I'd like to share with you my journey on my hearing loss recovery. I have been a music and hi-fi lover during my younger days, but I have given up on that hobby in the early 90s when my son was born. Because of that, I have stepped away from that hobby. Over the years, during my medical examination, I do realize that I do have a hearing deficiency problem, particularly in the high frequency band, but I've kind of ignored it and it didn't really bother me that much. I was still able to have a conversation with people. Of course, when you talk, you look at people's face, you look at the lips, and you also kind of be able to catch up with what they're saying, even without hearing all the words exactly. After my retirement, I began to rekindle my hi-fi journey to listen to music. And I noticed that I was not able to really discriminate the quality of the sound. The high frequency was not very apparent to me. And as I listened to different equipment, the difference of the equipment did not quite come out as significant to me. One day I was having a dinner with a friend, and he told me that he has fitted himself with a hearing aid and it's working wonders. He's enjoying his music, his movies, and I decided at that point in time that perhaps I should also consider that. I used to come to SS2 for my meals, and at this very junction where I need to make a right turn home, I see Sound Life Hearing. I called up and I spoke with Mr Wan. So she set me up with an appointment and did a proper hearing test for me and showed me my hearing spectrum range on my 2 years, and it does shows that there's a problem. So she asked me what do I expect with this hearing aid. I told her that my primary purpose is to listen to music. I'm most of the time in an environment that's very quiet, so I don't really need to hear a lot of things related to speech and conversation. She said, okay. So I said, please arrange for me a trial set on one of your best, because I like to have a very wide band, meaning that the as full as possible frequency response hearing instrument that you can arrange for me. So she did arrange a couple of different models for me to listen to and asked me to decide which one I feel is most comfortable and has the most natural sound. Mr Wan was also very accommodating in the sense that she did help me to do frequency tuning and channel setting, such that when I use it and listen to music, I get something that I really prefer. Meaning that when I listen to music, I want to be able to hear the high frequency, but I don't want to hear too much of the voice sibilance. I want to be able to listen to the music and hear the shrillness of the cymbal on the drum set, but I don't want it to sound too metallic. So we went through this process actually over a few months. So finally, I settled on a model, and today I'm listening to that headset on my music, and I must say I really enjoy the music. I think the hearing instrument has given you a new breath of life, and also because of that it has resulted in me going through a process to upgrade a lot of my equipment and spend quite a bit of my money on those which I thoroughly enjoy. Along the journey, I also met with Miss Ching. Right? I found that she's actually very knowledgeable, and she is the owner of this company. What I found most impressive about Sound Life is a very professional setup, very competent, and obviously Miss Wan really know what you're doing, and so does Miss Ching. Right? They were very patient with me, they accommodated me, they were able to answer my questions. That really makes me feel that from a customer service point of view, they have been most professional about it, rather than pushing a sale. So if you ask me, I would have no reservations to recommend Sound Life to anybody who wants to consider getting a hearing in order to improve their hearing. In general, I would encourage people who has a hearing problem when you have to ask people to repeat a sentence to consider doing an auditory test and find out how bad it is, and consider doing a trial on the hearing aid and see whether you would like to use one. As a matter of personal sharing, my mother actually do have hearing problem. At the point of her death when she was about 91 years old. She was actually literally deaf. We had to shout into her ears to talk to her. We did get her a pair of hearing aids, but she complained that after putting a hearing aid, the whole world becomes very noisy and she doesn't like it. And I suspect that part of it also related to the setup of the hearing aid, because you can always tune it down to reduce the frequency to accommodate the hearing, and I think that was not properly done. But if I had been with her, I probably would have done something different with the audiologist and do some tuning for her to make sure she can accommodate it. Because it's terrible to be able not to hear anything.